Hello folks, I'm here to prove the globe. It's for sure a fantasy. Yep. I talk to people about the flat earth everywhere I go. And they all, not all, because things have changed a lot in the last few years. A few years ago when I figured out the earth was flat, when I got done with my investigation and I came to the know instead of the thought. You see, I didn't just come in and start thinking the earth was flat. I came into this reality to prove that earth was a spinning ball, so that the flat earth would go away, because I didn't want to see it. I was tired of seeing it. It was in my live feed for 6 months before I would even attempt. It was so ridiculous, I wouldn't even attempt to look at it. I thought it was ludicrous. So, after about 6 months of YouTube feeding it to me, I started my investigation to prove the globe. And every piece of information and data that I got to support this totally goes against common sense, logic, and reason. I don't care what size ball you're on. If you're on a ball and you look out there somewhere, you're going to see some curve with your own observation. That's plain and simple. You're going to see it. And when you're driving around and on these high mountain passes or down in the deserts and wherever you go, and you observe your surroundings, especially notable on the ocean beaches, everything is pretty much flat and level. You can't measure the curvature. What is wrong with people? I don't know. Why are people denying reality and accepting the fantasy still at this point? I don't know. There's people who I deal with every day who mock even the idea of anything but a spinning ball. But I only laugh at them. So they ask me stupid questions like, well, where's the edge? And I just retort and say, well, I don't know. You tell me where the edge of the universe is that this incredible ball spinning at over 1,040 miles an hour at the equator, tilted 23.4 degrees, which puts it 66.6 degrees off 90, and that thing's spinning 1,040 miles an hour at the equator while it's orbiting the sun counterclockwise at 66,600 miles an hour, when it's over here and you have the sun here and you have daylight here, then it's noontime here in the United States, and over here noontime ain't here anymore because it's 3 hours out of sync with reality. Now you have you idiots who want to say that there's just coincidence that you get a 4-minute interval or whatever. Yeah, and it's just like the coincidence of the goddamn sun being exactly 400 times the size of the moon and 400 times the distance, coincidentally, just to be the same size in the sky that we observe through our natural observation. Don't observe the clouds around the sun and the moon and notice that they are only the clouds in the immediate vicinity of the sun and the moon that gather the light that's emitted from the sun and the moon. Just disregard that bullshit That's against logic and reason. Remember, too, at the same time, all this fantastic bullshit of the fucking Earth rotating on its axis, orbiting the sun orbiting the Milky Way galaxy at 666,000 miles an hour, another 666 number. There's three of them, 666,666,666. It's their goddamn numbers, not mine. Why don't you guys open your fucking eyes? See reality for what nature and reality present to you. Quit letting these idiots out here make your mind up for you. Gather your own information, your own data, compile it together, and discern over it, throwing all prejudice and biasness and opinion out the window so that you are totally free of any belief of the information, and let the information procure the reality, come to the reality of where you are. Because only then and then are you ever going to know where you're at. That's a fact. I've been there and I've done that. I'm here to tell you the Earth is a flat, motionless plane. You're supposed to be rotating on your axis here at 1,040 miles an hour, and here is the January. Got to get the tilt away in January. We're 91 million miles away from Earth with the sun. It's cold in January. In June, midnight and daytime have just completely opposited each other. Now June, you're 95 million miles away, and you're sweating your balls off, and noon is on the wrong side of the globe, but coincidentally the sun just happens to, or the Earth happens to rotate an extra 4 minutes out of each day. Per se, just coincidentally, so all this bullshit will fucking coincide with each other. They keep making one lie after another lie to cover the lies, people. There's one thing, we're not here defending the flat earth truth. We're presenting it with logical reason and full understanding of the existence around us, the plane of existence. We've gathered the information. We understand that there's no measurable curvature and that none of you ballers can measure it, or you would have already went and to Myrtle Beach and accepted that $100,000 rewards. All you got to do is go out there with your theodolite and your engineer's rule, and every 100 yards at high tide stake that beach. And then when you got it staked at high tide and you got your hub markers every 100 yards or 50 yards or whatever, 6 miles long, you get 40 people out there. You can cover that area real goddamn quick. Dan Pratt just put out another video today that just totally obliterates the gravity theory. Your God gravity's done. The spinning ball Earth is done. There is no debate. That's why all you fucking idiots who come at me and say, well, we can debate this. No, we can't. You can put your evidence on the table. We're not debating anything. You write down your shit that you got and you put it on the table, and I'll go over it. I don't want to hear a thing you have to say, because you're just regurgitating the bullshit that you were indoctrinated to believe. Too afraid to take a look at reality and come to the reality that you've been bullshitted your entire life. It's either that or you're too comfortable in this goddamn existence, just going to work, and you got your truck that you can't afford, and you got your house that you can't afford because you're too busy paying all the bills and going to work. You can't enjoy anything, just like these fuckers want you to be doing, so you don't even have time to think. You're too focused on what you have to do. You have no time for pleasure and enjoyment of family life. Just that was the plan, to dissolve the family unit. And it has worked very well. The heritages are all gone. You don't know your ancestry. They don't want you to know. Who are they? You go find out. I'm tired of spoon feeding you fuckers every goddamn morsel that's out there. The Clintons have a dead body count 50 miles or 50 people behind them that are dead, that cross their path. It's common public knowledge. Yet them maggots walk free with impunity. You go jaywalk, motherfucker, in front of the wrong cop, in front of the wrong judge, and see what happens to you. I don't make the rules. I just don't coat anything with sugar. I see it how it is, and I say it how it is. Conspiracy Cougar, come at me, bitch. You fucked with the wrong man. I'm not a boy like you are. I stand tall and proud for reality and truth and justice. You are no better than me, you dumb son of a bitch. In fact, you're an ignorant son of a bitch. You don't even know who you are or what you're doing. You're entrapping your children into the game that they've got you in. And so are every other one of you Soundleys and Red Rhetoric and Sly Sparkane and Greater Sapien and Wolfie 6020 and Sean Hawkins and all you ball-sucking sons of guns. The game's over. You have no standing with the evidence presented on the table for the last couple of years. If everything was put into a fair legal court system, Earth would be declared flat and motionless. You have Aries failure. You have Michelson-Morley, Michelson-Gale, Sagnag. Foucault's pendulum is a complete, utter fucking fallacy. You got LIGO in Hanford, Washington, and LIGO in over on the Mississippi, Missouri, somewhere right there. These are mile-long paths for seeking out gravitational waves. LIGO is what they're called. You research them yourself. These sons of bitches can't detect a gravity wave right here on the land that they stand and claim to have gravity, but they can find it 500 light years away, 500 million light years away. Go kiss my ass. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I don't know why everyone ain't on board with what's going on in this world today. The chemtrails, I cannot believe it, folks. I'm clear up here in northern Washington, northeast Washington, Colville, and I drive down the roads, and I wish I would have had my daughter bring my camera, but the trees are dying, and this is a very unpopulated area. And the trees that line the streets on the main highway 395 going around here up through from Spokane, the trees are all dying along the road. I can't go out in the mountain away from the road, but I guarantee you there's not enough traffic that comes through here that would be affecting the trees and killing them all. It's the chemtrails that these elite maggots are spraying upon you. You didn't hear of skin cancer back in the 20s until these maggots had you believing the sun was a bad deal for you and to put the sunscreens and shit on you and don't stare at the sun, and totally alleviated yourself from the sun. I sun gaze and I sunbathe all the time. The sun is good, and walking barefoot's good too. They have you wearing rubber-soled shoes for a reason, because that breaks your contact with Mother Earth, the ground. The grounding unit, you're an electrical unit, you need to be grounded. I can only tell you what I've gained in the knowledge of my time being here. I'm very uh, subdued. I get no views, or I get lots of views. I got 750 subscribers, thank you, that have been with me for about the same 5 years that I've been on here. I go up a couple, down a couple, but it's always been about the same. I always get, like, with these 725, 730 subscribers that I get like 30, 40 views. I don't care. I ain't out here for no popularity contest. You shouldn't have to be out here trying to wake you idiots up. You're a bunch of goyim. Each and every one of you are a bunch of goyim that don't respond to the attitude that I have towards government and anarchy being the supreme condition of life. Where you lost that you need some kind of a leader to rule you and tell you what is best for you and your family? You're not that intelligent enough to know what is best for you and your family. A bunch of sorry sons of bitches, man. That's all I can say. Since I've ran into the reality of where we're at, I can't shut up. I go into a grocery store. I've been 86ed out of 3 or 4 grocery stores. I tell it the way it is. I start out in a flat earth reality at the cash register, and before you know it, I'm telling that cash lady right behind the register, when she tells me it don't matter, it don't phase her one bit, I get right into it. Don't phase you one bit, really? If they're showing you some kind of spinning ball that's supposed to be hurtling around the sun, that's supposed to be chasing the Milky Way galaxy through the infinite universe at over 2 million miles an hour combined, you don't feel no movement, you observe absolutely no curvature, you can't measure no curvature, it doesn't bother you that you're funding NASA over $53 million a day, $23 billion a year, and that on top of that they're taking another $106 billion a year so that they can fund the military-industrial complex and learn how to kill more of you and me civilians of this mortal realm with less money and less effort, and you don't care? Are you fucking kidding me? That's how this usually goes for me, folks. I spend over $500 a week on this goddamn government taking my money. That's why I'm so vulgar and I get so pissed off. No, these aren't devil signs. These aren't Mason signs. This is just the way I am. You come at me all you want. You see how real I am. I don't sugarcoat shit. I just say it how it is. This is fucking bullshit. They show it to you in your crib, in the mobile above your head. Why? Why is it so important to drill it into your head from infancy? Your first days. Ever since the corporate leadership has merged into the corporate leadership as it is today. I'm not saying the first government was bad the way it was set up originally. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't believe in government whatsoever. The government's a big con. And it says it right in the rights that it gives you with the Constitution. The first 3 letters of the Constitution tells you exactly what it is. You were put upon this realm to live out your mortal experience by the great creator of this entire realm that we exist upon. You're free to do your will no matter what it is, so long as you keep your evils and your wickedness to yourself and do not trespass on the freedoms and liberties of other mortals within this realm, and do not trash Mother Earth. You take care of the place you live, and the place you live takes care of you. Bring it on. It's conspiracy. See what you got, boy. So, with that being said, where else can I go? Pharmacy. Let's go to the doctor. Let's go get some medicine, folks. But look at what they do. They tell you to. They tell you right in the word of pharmacy. When you go to the doctor and he gives you a prescription and you go to the pharmacy, read, get rid of the P and stop at farm. P-H-A-R-M, harm. And then it goes to the end, achy, it harms your achy, it harms you. They kill you. They give you one drug, and that drug has an ill adverse effect, so they give you another drug to take care of that effect, and that effect, and that effect. And pretty soon you got yourself walking around a pharmaceutical cocktail zombie that don't have a fucking clue and don't care about reality. They're so gumboed up, and that's why they've done that. Sorry, I got a little twist, but they had you going on. And this is back to the skin and the conditioning of the lotions and stuff that they put on you to give you cancer. They create the cancer. They created the medical system. They created the universal system, the heliocentric universal system, the financial system, the transportation system, the religious system, the indoctrination system. System after system, they're cramming up your ass. And you buy it like it's a sack of potatoes and you ain't ate for a week. You're not part of a system, you fools. You're part of a cycle. The sun cycles overhead. The moon cycles overhead. Study them. Watch them for an entire day. Do it a couple days in a row. Do it a month and an end. Go to my videos back. You don't have to watch them, but go look at all the sun and the moon footage that I've shot. And you understand what that sun and that moon are doing overhead. We ain't spinning around in the sun. There is no goddamn way on earth that the sun and the moon would be able to take the same path across the sky from east to west, minus the degree of where it's at overhead. And the earth be spinning and the moon be spinning. Your earth would be orbiting the sun counterclockwise. Your moon be orbiting so much little bit faster than the earth is actually spinning, because it's all relative to the emotion. And just one day when there was absolutely nothing, not even time didn't exist, nothing existed, just absolutely nothing, decided to blow up and create everything, including the expanding universe that has everything in it. And all the vacuums of space, where the sun's out there in the vacuum and it's supposed to be some kind of fantastic nuclear explosion 864,000 times the size of the earth, creating all this light coming to us, yet it's right up there in the clouds along with the moon, and the clouds gathered, and the clouds in the area of the sun and the moon always gather the light immediately around the sun and the moon. Any cloud that is near the sun and the moon gather the light. Not the clouds that are away, only the immediate ones. An observation of reality when you set your indoctrination aside. I didn't try to become a flat earther, folks. I tried to prove the spinning ball. I was biased in my investigation and my research when I first started. I didn't want to believe that someone could have lied to me my entire life, and I didn't even have the inclination of whatsoever. It was Google that did it to me. They're the ones that made me go out there and do the research. They say Polaris is 433 light years away. They're telling you that the light you observe from Polaris was emitted from Polaris over 433 light years away. Sounds like Buzz Lightyear, Disney's creation. numbers that are given to you by the same people who give you the numbers of the ISS, which is totally horseshit. I got this book. It's called, it is right here. It's a space almanac. I got the dates of the lifts and what was going to space and all the bullshit in this almanac here somewhere. I bought it for $1 at the Goodwill store because that's what I do in my time. Once in a while I go to Goodwill and quite regular to see what they got. But I got this book and it's got all of the flights and all of the weights, and before Google was a big thing, so it's hard numbers that haven't been overwritten and shit. And I've been researching in the book and stuff, and the shit that they say that they sent the ISS, International Space Station, that's a total impossibility with the number of pounds that the ISS is supposed to weigh is a phenomenal amount. I'm not going to bust out this right now because I'm on a roll of what I'm doing. I guess I feel pretty comfortable in my speech right now. But anyway, the poundage, the tonnage, I should say, because it's not pounds. It is pounds, but it's 2,000 per ton, which is 402 or 204. I know them are numbers that are big to expand, but it's just like the numbers they give you of this thing that are so big that you can't comprehend them anyway. But so that's why they do this, so that you can't really comprehend, so you don't really question, because it's beyond your comprehension. See how that works? Conspiracy Cougar, come and play, boy. You asked for it. You got me. You got my attention. Bring it. You feel froggy? Anyway, yeah. Where else can we go? You know, I've talked on here for 30 minutes. Last night was maybe an hour. I'm doing nothing. I'm bored with my time. I'm away from home working in a motel, which gives me a lot of time to think about the reality that's been presented around us, which has also given me a lot of time to research the spinning ball, because I wanted Earth to be a spinning ball. I really did. I didn't want my illusion shattered. But hey, don't worry. Q's gonna save the day. Remember all the Q followers? And all the Trump followers? All the followers out there who need a leader? Who can't see reality for what it really is? Yeah, you people. So what's Trump done? Did y'all notice the government was shut down? I have some clown in here tell me, oh, there were some people dependent on the government that knew the government shut down. Well, you know what? It didn't affect my day. In fact, I pay $500 a week to the government. I almost asked the clown, how much you give that government a week? I'm a working man. I work hard for my money. And I'll be damned if I enjoy giving it to these motherfuckers so that they can invest into the military-industrial complex over $106 billion a year to send bullets and bombs to innocent countries to superimpose their agenda of one world financial institution. Hell no. We were in Afghanistan. It ain't because the Taliban was being bad to the Afghan people. That ain't why we were in Afghanistan, you fools. We were in Afghanistan because the Taliban seen what the heroin from the poppy fields had done to its society, and the Taliban was trying to kill the poppy fields, and the American government and CIA couldn't be having their poppy fields destroyed, so they were in there fighting the Taliban to protect the poppy fields so that Poppy Bush could bring his heroin to the United States. Are you fucking shitting me? Shit's about to go down some. I see it. Society ain't going to go on much longer. They can't allow the flat earth reality. It's grown 5 years ago when I first indulged into the research and came to the realization that reality wasn't exactly as it was presented to me. It's like I used to call it. And you notice there's a lot of times I even have made videos trying to release myself of the flat earth, but It's what it's known as. And now you notice when you go into the Google feed, the flat earth is a bunch of mocking, joking bullshit that just makes it look totally unfeasible and stupid. But if you actually go out and do an honest, open investigation, you come to the reality that where we are is a lot different than where they told us we were. You know? So, yeah. Let's get back to how this spinning ball works. So we already understand that the sun is up in a vacuum, which isn't really a vacuum. It's more of a settlement of all the more dense matters. So the less dense matters settle, the very least dense are up on the top. And when there's nothing more, then there's nothingness. You go into that other dimensional plane above where there's nothingness. But actually, I'm pretty certain that there is something there. I haven't quite put my finger on it yet because there's always something. You figure that one out. Anyway, all these pressures of everything lying one on top of the other, I'm pretty sure that just by logic and reason, the upper ones are pretty calm and steadily pressured. They're the least dust. It's like when you have a dust settle, that fine dust settle in a shop or something, and it's just unmolested for 5 or 10 years. It's just a fine dust and it don't go nowhere, so it just settles there. And I believe that's probably what these gases do, and the further you come down, but it's all settling. And then you have heat exchange and cool exchange, so you get your turbulence and stuff that creates the different winds and stuff and the turbulence in the air, which is also the same effect of what the water is, cause current in the oceans. And the ocean is actually what I've observed to be, I'll keep it to myself. You guys dig your own breathing system up and how the tides are actually created, because the moon don't create the tides. You look at the tide patterns and you look at the moon patterns, and they don't sync. When you learn how to do it, no, they do not sync. That's not what I created. That's only what I've found out and have presented to you. You go find the bodies of water and see if they're high tide where the moon is. Sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. So that therefore the moon can have no, if the moon was to gravitationally be sucked to the tide, then that tide would not leave the moon. It would follow the moon around. And then as soon as the moon moved beyond a continent or came to a continent, that water would rush back out. And as it left that continent, all the water on the other side of the continent would instantly create the high tide, and the tide would follow the moon around again. And that's not what is observed in reality. The tides can be anywhere without influence of the moon. You will have to do your own investigation and research to find that. And Tony Camps, yes, I do read your comments. I think you miss the communication that I'm relaying, and you get confused a little bit because I have been on top of June. The sun is further away by 4 million miles, and you sweat your balls off. In December, you're 4 million miles closer and you freeze your balls off. No, I'm all over that. And I really appreciate a lot of your input too, because I do follow up on your leads. Many of them I've already uncovered prior to you giving them to me, but there are ones that you do sell on me without my prior knowledge, and I appreciate that. So, yeah, I didn't want to lose the globe, folks. I was happy. Tell you the truth, I didn't mind so much what was going on in the world. I mean, I did. I was totally distraught on the way that the civilians of the realm let all governments run rampant. Let the governments take their money and present this ludicrous fucking spinning ball bullshit, costing millions and billions of dollars a year just for this spinning lie bullshit, on top of the $106 billion a year they spend on the military industrial complex to learn how to kill more of us. That would end hunger and homelessness throughout this realm. But no, these idiots would rather go do fucking syphilis tests down in Africa and see how syphilis reacts. And that's the people that you fund. That's the people you allow to take my money, to take my power. That's why I come out here. That's why I present reality the way I do. I don't sugarcoat it, I just say it the way it is. I don't say anything that isn't common knowledge if you just go dig for the truth. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to prove me wrong. Go do your own research, gather your own information, your own data, and discern over it for yourself with a critical thinking, non-prejudiced, non-biased, unopinionated mind, and let the reality present it come to its own conclusion. Nothing more, nothing less. If that ain't a fair bargain, then nothing is. But I guarantee you, if you have high hopes of the globe, you're going to walk away disappointed. That's plain and simple. If you wholeheartedly go in unopinionated and let the evidence speak for itself, uninfluenced by any outside influence, just the evidence, the reality, everything that you can grasp a hold of, that you can observe firsthand. You don't need some calculation that you can't comprehend, that you can't calculate yourself, just because they say this is how it is, and you don't really know how it is. You just, okay, Tarzan! You dumb motherfuckers. Conspiracy Cougar. Come at me, boy. Should have left me alone. I was getting kind of time shy. But that ain't what I'm out here for anyway, to be popular. I'm just out here to spark the spark in the right one of you idiots out there who finally look at this man here and say, huh, you hear what he's saying? The Indians lived a long time and they didn't have this fucked up world. This fucked up world's only been here since the colonial system. Another one of them systems. Been crammed up your ass. When the Indians lived here, the earth wasn't trashed. You didn't see papers laying all over the floor, needles and junkies. They didn't exist. This is all the colonial scam system. But I ain't here to tell you what to believe. I'm just here to tell you the way it is. And I'm not even here to tell you. I'm just recording this so that my grandchildren will have an opportunity to see that their grandfather was trying to straighten his shit up, at least present the reality, more of what reality was, that is observable, that is obtainable reality, that you can grasp a hold of, that you can record with simple addition and subtraction of solid numbers, not formulas that go on for 3 chalkboards in 2 days. To result in a desired outcome. Because I can play with numbers like that too, and I don't even have calculus. And for you idiots to say that curvature drop ain't curvature drop, the hell it ain't drop. It's curvature drop. Telling me a sphere don't have curve? You tell me that drop don't happen? Pull your head out your ass, boy. It's curvature drop. If not, it's curvature rise. You gonna measure it from Australia and call it curvature rise because it should be going up? Is that how this works, boy? For real. If up in the northern hemisphere it's got to be curvature drop, then in the southern hemisphere it's got to be curvature rise. That ain't the way it is, guys. Flat level playing field. The spinning ball is in their court to prove. We don't have to prove anything, and they're stupid to put it on us. Because reality presents itself every day to each and every one of us, and it's observable, it's recognizable, it's comprehensible. Any logical thinking, critical thought, reason, investment upon your surroundings explained to you in your own common sense where you're at. You don't need anybody to tell you. They're going to tell you what they want you to believe. When you went to their indoctrination system, the public schools, they were planned out to eliminate the free thinker. They couldn't have these kids running around the house thinking freely. They have to have them all on the same page. But I'm running out of things to say tonight. It's almost 45 minutes. I just hope to catch a spark by somebody hearing this, that these words aren't just lost in time. Because if you really think that some time way back when, before time existed, absolutely nothing, just decided to blow up one day and create everything that exists, you're out of your freaking mind, dude. And you call me crazy? Okay. He who laughs all the time laughs the best. I don't laugh last. I just keep laughing at you fools. Everybody that I talk to, that I present, and I deal with people all day that think I'm a nut. But you know what? They come and they tell me how nutty I sound and all this good shit. But you know what? When I tell them to present me some evidence that I can scrutinize myself, some data that they've gathered that I can scrutinize myself, give it to me so I can obtain it and research what they have compiled together. They don't do it. They just shut up. It's too much for them. And then when I start presenting to them the information just off the fly of what Earth is supposed to be doing in itself, and the different things on how in January over here. The nighttime sky's over there. Earth is tilted at 23.4 degrees. Polaris is over the tilt, so it's clear out there. And it's 91 million miles away from the sun. And it's cold as fuck. You freeze your balls off. And the timing all falls apart. Nothing coincides. It's all coincidental. Then you got over here in June, when you're further away, you're 95 million miles away from the sun now, and you're sweating your balls off. But now the nighttime sky's over there, and you all want to say, well, the whole sky is observable. Well, you are still looking at over 180 million miles difference between where Polaris, the north, is pointing up there and where it was pointing out over there. Not to mention how far distant they say Polaris is. Trying to get rid of the parallax, trying to confuse you with numbers that you can't comprehend. Trying to tell you that the sun's light stops right here. It don't go up there. If there's nothing up there, it don't go up there. But yet at the same token, that Polaris is over there, because that's how they eliminate. They think that the sun's light just stops. If Earth ain't there, then there ain't no light. I understand if there's nothing there to reflect the light, you're not going to observe it. I comprehend that very well, because you got to have the particles to gather the light, to reflect the light, to make it observable. I understand that well. So I'm getting tired of talking. I really am. I'm tired of trying to answer idiots who leave comments, come at me like I'm some stupid son of a bitch right off the bat. I don't need it, you know. I just laugh it off and tell them to fuck off, stupid fuck. But sometimes my videos are long like this and then I'm done anyway. I'm getting off. So, yeah, just a dose of reality. Y'all have a good time, good evening. Thanks for watching. Conspiracy Cougar. There's another one for you. See you guys. Have a good evening.